Hello, Max and Ray. It's January 28th. It's about 15 minutes after 10 o'clock. And I wanted to see how busy the bees would be. It's only 55 degrees out. And that's a little bit cold to break open the hive. So I just wanted to instead, oh good, oh wow, look at all the pollen on their legs. The first shift is coming back in. Probably they were able to leave this morning when the sun came up, because right now looks like they're coming in, and it's possible that there might be some nectar, because I see some coming in with just oh look, there's a bee taking out another bee. It's trying to drag him out. Might be a drone. It doesn't want to leave, but this bee is making it leave. Should just drop it right there. So this time of year, it's still cold enough that the drones don't help at all. They're lazy. The drones just are lazy. They don't do any work, and they can't even feed themselves. It's really hard to understand why. But they have to, when it's really, really cold and their food supplies are low, in order to keep the hive alive, they have to get rid of anybody that doesn't work. So that's the name of that tune. And some of them are resting on top of that tomato plant. They have to be a certain temperature before they can fly, actually. They have a muscle on their back that they use to flap their wings. And so they have to either exercise that muscle by flapping their wings, or they get in the sun. And they're real busy today. Let's go over and look at the GM hive. Yep. So if the sun comes up at around 7, 8, 9, 10, 15 minutes after, or 30 minutes after, is when the first shift comes back. So that's 3.5 hours, 3.5 to 4 hours they go. If they fly 2 miles an hour, they can go out 2 miles, gather something, and come back in that amount of time, I think. They may not fly in a straight line though, but the wind will blow them back and forth a little bit. But right now, today, it's really calm. There's no wind to speak of. We'll take a quick look inside. But I'm not going to open it up any more than that. They're looking. All right, put the lid back on. So, see, this hive is very gentle. The Tesla hive is very, very gentle. Probably these are the most gentle bees I've ever had. And this is the GM hive, and I got them from Mr. Bees. I told you about that in one of my other videos, and that beehive there came from Becky. And Becky actually inspects bees for the state of Florida. You have to have your beehives out. It's got stung in the face. Not sure who did it, but one of them did. You have to have your bees inspected every year. What they look for are bees that are super aggressive. And super aggressive bees can really cause a problem, and so that's the main thing that they're looking for. And they're looking for disease as well. We want all of our beehives to be healthy. Look across the pond. Those trees over there, there are two of them. Well, there's three of them that are brown. One of it has shed its leaves completely. There's three in the group, and the one in the middle has lost all of its leaves. That tree is in the family of pines, and it is the only deciduous pine relative. All the other pine trees are evergreen. There's short needle pines, long needle pines, 3 needle pines, 5 needle pines, Japanese black pines, on and on and on. And all in that family of trees, the cypress is in the family of pines, and it's the only deciduous, which means that it loses all of its leaves in 1 year. Even though evergreens stay green all year, they do lose their leaves. Like about 1/3 of the leaves every year will fall off, or the needles in the case of pines. I find that potatoes and celery seem to grow very well together. Combinations of plants usually work better than just a single plant planted like in a field or something like that. If they're wind pollinated though, if they're pollinated by the wind, you have to have a lot of plants. Like for instance, corn. Corn is in the grass family. It's called a Grammomeles family, and like grasses and other grains, cereal grains, are pollinated by the wind, and so they have to have a lot of plants, and usually just one species, and that works best. Let's go over and just check on the turtles real quick. We're into this 8 minutes and 37 seconds. Oh, I planted a new orchid yesterday. I'll show that to you later. Look, I got a new hose reel. It's from Home Depot, and it leaks. I'm gonna have to try and tighten up the fittings. This is a fitting right here. This part fits into another part. That's why they call it a fitting. That's where the turtle pen used to be, and I just haven't moved all the soil out of it. That soil is really good for growing medium. It's a soil building system. Yesterday I transplanted some garlic over here, and I have to put it in a cage because the turtles are like little tanks. They just roll over everything. There are some of those greens I showed you in my last episode. I just put them in the ground. And there's one of the turtles. That one looks like number 2. Probably I should get this lettuce out of here because it looks like it's starting to rot. What I'll do, see, I put dig a little hole with my hand right there. Then I'll put that in the ground. Lettuce is a cool season plant. When it gets to be about 80 degrees, it quits growing. Maybe a little warmer than that. But I put the root in the ground, and hopefully it'll grow back up. These little stalks here are the midrib, and so that's the part that they don't eat all of it. Excuse me. I'll come back later and give him some clean water. Alright, this is 11 minutes. Have you watched the whole thing? I think I'll look at. Here's the orchid that I planted. You've probably seen it in other videos inside the house. When the flowers are fading, when they're done, when the flowers are finished, they call it spent. They've spent the flower. And so what I like to do is then I'll start them outside. You see that little aerial root in there? These roots will take water out of the air, and they can't survive in soil, so they have a different kind of medium. They call a soil a medium. This is a bark. So all that is bark. It's pine bark probably. And let's go over and look at our red navel orange. I fertilized it yesterday. I sprayed it, and it looks better already. The leaves have a real nice color and a nice feel. They're turgid. The leaves are turgid. Turgid means that they have a good moisture content. Turgidity or turgid. They feel nice and plump. A lot of the flowers are opening, and right here's a baby orange right there. This flower next to it got pollinated yesterday, and so the petals and all the parts are starting to fall off, and it'll start growing its fruit. Oh, and down here too is baby oranges. Oh, there's a group of 3 here. Okay, keep on watching. There's a baby key lime. We might have some pie when you guys get here. It'll look almost good enough to eat. Thanks for watching.